It's a story of men fighting for something against insurmountable odds.
I'm not a doctor. It's fantastic. It's something that's changed the world. It's totally American.
Takes you back to your childhood and makes your tummy just feel so good.
I am the old man of the group. I am the person that is most mature, and I am the only adult in this room. And it's Debate My Take, week 16, folks. Welcome back to Debate My Take. My name is Tony Dunn. It is a show where you are the judge and the jury. Panther Nation is the judge and the jury, as me and my arch rival, my best bud, Cody Lashney, go toe-to-toe each week over a series of NFL topics focused primarily on the Carolina Panthers, but where we dip our toe into the waters of life in the NFL overall. Take a seat in the jury box, folks. Be sure to tell us who wins Debate My Take, and let me introduce you to my co-host, and I would say my co-counsel, but no, we are on opposite sides of the aisle, my friend.
Listen, you really don't want me over there on your side anyway, Tony, because if you get too close, you might get burned, as you always do whenever we do Debate My Take. We've got another round of questions teed up, some really good ones, some ones that we've been talking about for a while. As always, I'm ready to use your debates like a punching bag, Tony. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's get this court in order.
Folks, gavel, this court is in session. Subscribe to the C3 Panthers podcast on YouTube. You can check us out on all the podcast platforms. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up button. If you like the show, smash the thumbs up button. If you don't like the show, I appreciate your support. And what we need you to do is jump in the comment section of this video and tell us who wins this debate. Let's start it off. Cody, show us what we got.
The first question is something that you and I have been teasing on the Tuesday podcast for a while and the Sunday podcast. Tony Dunn, Panther Nation, whether or not it's going to happen or isn't going to happen, we're looking forward to whoever is our coach next after Matt Rhule. I have my favorite. You have your favorite. I've been a clear champion of Eric Bieniemy. You keep on saying that Greg Roman is the answer to the Panthers' play calling woes. I'm going to need you to defend that. Defend Greg Roman why he should be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, this is a clear and easy case right here of one of the most qualified candidates and underrated candidates in the NFL. We're talking about 26 years of coaching experience. We're talking about a man who's coached with the Baltimore Ravens under Jim Harbaugh, but has also coached with his brother John Harbaugh with going to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick. But going back to this, we're talking about championship organizations. Bill Billick for the Baltimore Ravens. Remember them when they had that crazy defense? Greg Roman is a man that's been associated with all of those programs. He's been an offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, for the San Francisco 49ers, and for the Buffalo Bills. He led the Buffalo Bills to a league-high rushing attack with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback, who is still in this league getting a lot of reps. Colin Kaepernick and the San Francisco 49ers offense was dynamic with that run-pass option, and he has been an important part since 2019 in helping shape and cultivate Lamar Jackson not only into an MVP, but a better passer all around. Greg Roman has coached offensive lines in his past. He has been a specialist for left tackles. This man, and I will tell you this, number one, has demonstrated that he coaches to the personnel that he has. He looks at the guys that he has and he caters an offense to them. That's number one. Number two is the NFL experience with the champion pedigree. championship pedigree. He's coached with multiple winners. Multiple winners. And on top of that, the last thing I will say this, as he goes forward and tries to bring together a staff, he has developed and cultivated important relationships to put together a true NFL staff. Greg Roman, while he is short and stout, is mighty. And mighty he could be as an offensive head coach who would not leave at the first sight of a good offense. Cody Lashnick, Greg Roman is a guy who has the pedigree and the chops to be the Panthers head coach under any circumstances.
You know what? You made a lot of good points there, Tony. And Eric Bieniemy is also a guy who's a little on the shorter side, like Greg Roman. They have a lot in common, man. And one of those things that they have in common is that they've both been to Super Bowls. But you know what the real difference is, Tony? Eric Bieniemy has won a Super Bowl. Not only has he won a Super Bowl, but he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and his offense, in which he calls plays for under the legendary coach Andy Reid, he has produced the league's MVP in Patrick Mahomes and has a system that has seen the Kansas City Chiefs put up record numbers in his time there as offensive coordinator, Tony. It is not an embellishment to say that Eric Bieniemy has the best resume out of all the Andy Reid disciples. He's been a running backs coach at Colorado, at Minnesota, where he was the running back coach for Adrian Peterson. He was incredible with Jamal Charles as his running back with the Kansas City Chiefs early on. Quite simply, Eric Bieniemy is the man for the job. He's been the man for the job since the first time the Panthers had an opening when Matt Rhule was hired. And Tony Dunn, if this next story doesn't settle it for you, then I don't know what will. While in college, my man was in a bar fight and pled no contest to the bar fight, man, to all the charges. This man is a fighter. This man has a proven resume. This man has authored one of the greatest offenses of the past 5 years in the NFL. Tony Dunn, the only answer to this question is Eric Bieniemy, man. Come on.
Rebuff, Your Honor. Re-examine the witness here. Look, is Greg Roman has coached under defensive head coaches. That means that he's been in charge of the offense, right? The Harbaughs are not known for being offensive coaches, right? And his success, Bill Belichick was I think that's his name. I always mispronounce it. It's not Belichick because that's anyway. The old guy that was the Ravens coach, who was another defensive coach. He is an offensive guy, while Bieniemy has been, while rightfully under the tutelage of one of the best offensive minds in the history of football, and Andy Reid, still overshadowed by an offensive genius, my friend. Greg Roman, light a Roman candle. This place is on fire. What we got next?
He also needs a mobile quarterback to be successful. But we'll move on, Tony. We will go to Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule is walking back everything. He said that he addressed the team, and he said that he took ownership of the 4th and 1 play in which he put blame unnecessarily on Cam Newton. Then you have an incident where Stephon Gilmore is being alerted in his post press conference that he was on the injury report and he didn't even know about it. There just seems to be more and more lies coming from the mouth of Matt Rhule. I'm going to let you go first. Is Matt Rhule lying to cover up his coaching inadequacies?
No. I think he's being honest. I think he's being honest and showing us his coaching inadequacies. These press conferences are him reeling. And sometimes you do things intentionally. You're trying to hurt people, right? You go after someone, you say something mean, trying to hurt them. Sometimes you say something mean because you are hurt, because you are off kilter, because you feel overwhelmed, right? I snap at my wife when things are going wrong at me, not because I'm trying to hurt her, but because of some sort of pain on my insides. He is not lying. He is telling us the truth. And the truth is, he's not ready. He's not ready for the hyper focus that comes with the NFL. The hyper focus is that I don't care how big your program is at the college level. Maybe we can tune into some Alabamas and something where they got more reporters than we got. But at the end of the day, this is even a small market team with a very friendly media, and they have not been able to let these things go by. And I think he says these things, and he thinks that they're just going to go to the wayside and not be meaningful. And then sadly, this dude tells us the truth once again, that he reads his own headlines. He reads the news. He reacts. Look at this. Each day he has wavered. He's flippity floppitied, in the words of, actually, in my impression of Cam Newton. He's flip floppity he's like a fish flipping outside of the water, bro. So I think he's telling us the truth. I don't think he's lying. I think he's telling us the truth. This man is not ready for this position.
Tony, you said earlier this year that you believed that they might have been lying in regards to Sam Darnold's injury.
Oh, I do. I still think that.
And I still think that this is an extension of this. They're saying that Stephon Gilmore is injured. He doesn't even know about it. Now we have this situation where he claims to be taking blame for the 4th and 1. I don't buy any of it. I don't buy absolutely any of it. I think this man is trying to make decisions secretly almost to sabotage the football team for some weird I told you so moment about the players that he's brought in to help this football team. He continues to say that Brady Christiansen and Deontay Brown, they needed off season. So he's lying to himself and everyone else by putting Cam Irving and Pat Elflein in front of those two guys. It's embarrassing, Tony Dunn. He is absolutely trying to cover up for his own inadequacies. And I don't think he wants Stephon Gilmore on the field too long, because he wants this to be another matchup. Yeah, where the Panthers fall apart, and he can say that it's on.
I didn't have the players.
Yeah, it's on the players being
don't like
injured. It's embarrassing. This man is a liar, Tony Dunn. The proof is in the pudding.
What's next?
Next question on the docket is, who has been the most disappointing Panther player this year? And I had an answer, and I'm going to stick to my answer.
Do it.
Even in spite of the most recent news. I'm here to tell you, news just broke before we went live that Brian Burns is going to the Pro Bowl. And I never thought that I'd be saying this, Tony Dunn, but I've watched every single snap of Brian Burns this season, and he doesn't deserve it, man. In fact, I don't think that not only does he not deserve to be in the Pro Bowl, but based on the hype that we had for this man at the start of the season, he has been my most disappointing Panther. Yeah, he has a decent amount of sacks, but this man is continuously not strong in his bull rush, doesn't set a physical edge. And how many times are we going to talk about Brian Burns failing to wrap up on what would be a clear sack in order for him to just, whiff completely and not make a play and let the quarterback roll out and make magic? Tony, Brian Burns has tried to do too much throughout this entire season. He's pretty much moving forward on name value alone as a highly drafted first-round defensive end. I have not seen that he is worthy of the hype, and I've been disappointed in Brian Burns.
Sam Darnold's the name for me. I know that people would say, how can you be disappointed with someone that people did not think was going to be good? But I'm telling you this, is that when the Sam Darnold trade move came about, obviously we cover this team. We talk about them every day, all day. We have to do we're producing content, and we want to look ahead to the future as a glass half full. That's our kind of, at least, a fan's inclination. So the idea of Sam Darnold maybe getting a fresh start, maybe this coaching staff and this front office seeing something in him, right, that could be grown and improved upon. And that kind of wonder of, man, is that just could this be a Tannehill type story? Sam Darnold was worse than even advertised by the haters. And I feel bad kicking a man while he's down. I really do feel bad telling a guy he stinks as he's trying to fight back and change the narrative, this and that. But really, this is on Matt Rhule. This is on the administration for telling us they were teachers and then getting this stupid student and not being able to tutor him. Sorry, Sam Darnold, with all the things that comes onto it, all the bells and whistles, which is an $18 million guaranteed contract next year, and the multiple draft picks that were expended for him, you have disappointed even someone who had very low expectations.
Yeah, I mean, those are both good answers, Tony. But today we're also learning that with Cam Irving once again being injured, that Brady Christiansen has gotten most of the snaps at left tackle. Now, when Brady Christiansen went up against the Washington football team, many people criticized that, yeah, he only looked good because he was going up against less than stellar competition. But this week, we're going up against one of the best defenses in football, against Tampa Bay, guys like Shaquille Barrett. My question to you, Tony, is how do you think Brady Christiansen will fare against this talented Buccaneers D line?
I don't know at the end of the day if we're going how you can grade good, bad, and ugly, this and that. I do not think it will be. I think it will be respectable. That's how I think he will fare in this. Is I think if I'm Brady Christiansen, I'm ready to prove Matt Rhule a fool. That's what I'm doing. I've been hanging. He's been pulling the old Michael Jordan, trying to stretch his arms, and Michael Jordan was short when he was young. And he tried to stretch himself, literally. He tried to stretch himself. That's what Brady Christiansen has just been hanging from a bar for the last 2 weeks, trying to say, my arms are long enough, Matt Rhule, and you a fool. I believe Brady Christiansen plays with a chip on his shoulder. And once again shows us just another piece of evidence that Matt Rhule is a fool.
Yeah, Tony, I'm gonna go full bore with this, and you probably already know it. I think Brady Christensen is going to shine like his hair, and he does have a nice head of hair. I think two hair boys can admit that he's got a nice mane growing, and that makes me all the more confident that he is going to prove me right, Tony Dunn. You know how angry and passionate I get on the show about Brady Christensen not playing football this year when he clearly should have been. And the whole time it clearly should have been a left tackle. I always knew that it was going to be injuries like this to Cam Irving that would see Brady Christensen actually getting him the opportunity that he deserves. Lord knows Matt Rhule isn't just going to give it to him. So with that said, I expect Brady Christensen to prove me right. He is a very athletic left tackle. He's 6'7", very powerful man, very nimble. Short arms be damned, Tony Dunn. I'm betting big on Brady Christensen, and I have no doubt he is going to have a fantastic matchup against Tampa Bay. If I'm wrong, let me go out in the blaze of glory. I don't give a damn, Tony Dunn. Let's keep it rolling with our next question. You're in a dark alley, and you see a big bad mamma jamma coming to knock your block off. You get to pick one Panther from any era of Carolina Panthers football to help you in an all-out brouhaha. Who are you picking, Tony Dunn?
I believe it would be uncouth to pick Ray Caruth. Yuck.
Oh, poet, you didn't even know it.
Murder jokes never good. Look, a couple of names that came to mind immediately when you posed this question made Mike Mentor, because this dude popped everybody in the mouth coming across the middle. Popped them in the mouth. Another name that came to mind, Dan Morgan, hit everything in sight. This dude had 23 tackles in the Super Bowl, 23 tackles in one game. And I might even be shorting him a couple. He hits everything in sight. But the name for me is a man who wreaked havoc on the field, off the field, and in the MMA ring. Greg the Kraken Hardy. This guy's, I've seen him knock dudes out. I've seen a man who has been brought down to his knees by the NFL justice system. And at the very end of the day, like my boy Joe Riolano, because I consulted him on this one. I said, Joe, who? He said, well, I said, I was thinking Greg Hardy too. He said, well, he certainly would be the most abusive.
Oh, wow.
So Greg Hardy is the one for me. Also, Kevin Green, wrestler, could be a notable mention. Greg Hardy knocking mugs out.
Another honorable mention is Peanut Tillman, who after his football career even went on to join the CIA, man. I don't know if I would be too confident fighting a fully trained CIA agent. But listen, Tony, there is a tried and true saying. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And you know me, I'm going for Agent 89, Steve Smith himself. How many clips and how many great memories do Panther fans have of Steve Smith serving up them hands, putting dudes into the dirt, being aggressive? Look, the man is the living embodiment of the character Wolverine. He may be short. He may not be the biggest fighter on your character select screen, but he will tear that ass up, Tony Dunn. And you need a real warrior when you're fighting in these streets, Tony. Because you know it's hard out here in these streets. Give me a real street fighter. I'm taking Steve Smith.
Only one weakness, though, with the Steve Smith pick. You know, I mean, it's the right one. It's the right one. The weakness is, though, is that he might punch his own teammates in that alley.
At least you'll have a good story to tell.
All right. Final question. We got to go to the beat check after this.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm going to be fast with this, man. The best snack food is not something you would think. It's some white cheddar popcorn with a big old bottle of hot sauce poured right on top of it. Tony, I'm telling you, it is one of my all-time favorite snacks. If you haven't had it, then you haven't had the best snack there is.
I'm gonna try it for sure, and I'll let you know what I think of it. I love hot sauce, and I love popcorn, and I love white cheddar popcorn. So I don't see why I wouldn't like it. As I thought about this question, I could think of one thing. Is I thought a snack food for all people, a democratic snack food, not one for the rich alone, but one that the common man would eat, and one that embodies the greatness of America, where you combine good creamy peanut butter with a saltine cracker. It comes together. Maybe pair it with a nice glass of milk. I'm telling you, this is a snack. You just give me the jar of peanut butter and a sleeve of saltines, and man, I am in heaven. I might not be able to talk until I get a glass of milk, but I love it. Peanut butter, sweet and salty. If you are a salty guy like I am, that's a great snack for you because it's sweet and salty. It's like the OG poor man trail mix. Notable mention for me is just graham crackers and milk, right until they get to be where they're about to fall apart. Eat them real quick as they're just all right. Folks, that's the C3, not C. We're going to the C3 beat check. This is C3 Debate My Take, where Tony Dunn and Cody Lashney show down each and every week with a series of football topics focused on the Carolina Panthers, but also on the greater world. We need you to jump in the comments section. Tell us who won this debate. Tell us what your best snack food is.
It's a story of
Who do you want in the street fight? Get in the comments section. Tell us who won the debate, who you want in the street fight, what your best snack food is. Until next week, you're out of order. You're out of order. This whole court is out of order.